Okay, so next up, all right. This is look. This one's not essential as such. This one is for me for the collection and curiosity. Uh, it's by an artist who was in was in and was a critical part of fantastic 70s funk band. And this is his solo effort. I don't know if this was the only solo LP he ever did. I'm going to have to say it's most likely. I think it's the only one I've ever seen. Look, it is a mid 80s affair. So, look, it's probably going to be a little bit more, electro and some programming on there. But it's got some, top notch credentials in terms of production and some other musos. That is Sugarfoot with Sugar Kiss. Sorry. Um, yeah, and I believe this is about 1985. You can see it's a very sort of 80s looking sort of cover. Um, anyhow, um, yeah, but seeing this every now and again, usually way more expensive than this was. Um, so I saw it for a good price. I thought, yeah, it's time to put this in the collection. Let's give it a go. Now you can see there, yeah, I would have got it for the 1200 yen. Uh, it's in it's a very good plus cover, a very good plus vinyl. So you know, I don't know if that's meant to be as in a really good VG plus, or if it's like basically like a near minus, whichever way. It does have a little bit of wear, so I'm just going to say it's a VG plus. Oh, VG plus. What would this on the price? I'll just look for that now on my list. Yeah, so um, that came down to for conversion $10.56 plus post, $14 and whole 2 cents Australian. So $14. To get some Sugarfoot solo work post, obviously post Ohio players. That is, if I didn't mention, but I'm sure, yeah, you knew that anyway. Yeah, look, let's have a look. Because from memory, there's some pretty choice personnel, which we'll have a look at first. I know Zap, Roger Troutman, yeah, there we go, are all over this. And it's produced by Roger. With special thanks to Larry Troutman and even Bobby Glover, who was in Zap. We've got some other people here too who I believe there's some ex-Ohio players here as well. Pretty sure Clarence Willis was the later version years of Ohio. James Williams is James, I think James Diamond Williams, who was I suppose the second main drummer after Westbound and their big Mercury hits years. The younger drummer. And Billy Beck, who was he was the second main keyboard player after Junie left again, and they went to Mercury. Junie stayed with Westbound. And then we've got some other vocalists who I know, Janetta Boyce. We got Ray Davis from Parliament and Funkadelic helping out there. That's fantastic. We've got Lester Troutman again of Zap and bass guitar Zap Troutman. So the whole Troutman family affair here, which is pretty cool. And Gregory Jackson, who I do believe was also of Zap. Yeah, so this is pretty full on lineup there. But it is mid 80s. I'm just going to see if it's going to say anything around here. I've got a feeling it's going to be down here. Warner Brothers, Warner. There we go. You can see that. 1985 Governor. There it is. On Warner B, mid 80s. So yeah, look, it's gonna reek of probably DX7s, I don't know, and drum machines. Although it's saying drums by Lester Troutman, and with the Zap production, they used to, so tight and snappy. It sometimes you could be forgiven for thinking it was drum machines, but hey, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's drum machines, or at least some things. Trucks. Well, we've got 9 trucks here. I don't know any of them. Yeah, except they've got Fire 85, so I'm going to take it that's the update of our higher players. 5 from, 1974? Yeah. Girl, I need you, girl. Oh. I'm sure he's going to sound like that. I'll be a star, girl. Yeah, some corny titles for sure. I'm your sugar. Yeah. But hey, I'm sure there's going to be some fun there, Sugarfoot from our higher players. I'm expecting to be doing an extension of that kind of, that sort of personality on his Ohio stuff and sense of humour. You can see that with his big cheesy, cheeky grin there. That's what I'm expecting. Even that we'll have some syrup sometimes, I think. Yeah. So there we go with Sugarfoot. Again, nice bargain. Okay, next one up. This is exciting to find for sure. Yeah, I've been starting to get more of this artist's work, solo work in particular, and this is a nice sort of early-ish one. Great guitarist, he even played bass and stuff as well, I believe. I reckon he's pretty, underrated. And unfortunately, I think he either died earlier this year, was it? Maybe late last year. It was very, very recently, within the last sort of 12 months. But I'm glad to get this. It might be I think it's a reissue of one from about 67, possibly really 68, somewhere in there. And that is Fill Up Church with Feelin' Blue. Yes, I'm expecting this to be quite interesting in a way. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's going to be totally blues, but I think there'll be some soul and sort of stuff here in instrumental mode. This one's released on Milestone. I'm not sure if it was originally on Milestone. It's very possible it was. I just don't believe this is the OG. Although it does look straight out of 1967, doesn't it? Stereo version, very nice. I like my stereo. Have a look in the back. There is some tape, but again, I think this is there is shrink still on there. And I think the tape is on the shrink, hopefully. Being hopeful, maybe. Yeah, there is. Okay, it's very tight. You can see it rippling there. Yeah. So look, I'm hoping that tape is not touching the actual cover, because that would suck. I mean, that tape looks really old too, and a bit of aging there on the edge where they have opened. It's opened shrink, as you can see there. Let's just have a bit of a squeeze on the back here. It's an old school feel here, hey. Look, 10 songs, that's a pretty healthy number. Yeah, to get some value out of that. Now, we do have some cover songs. Before we do that, I just noticed up here, it's saying Quintet featuring Wynton Kelly. And he's got an orchestra. Now, I'm wondering if Charles Stepney is got something to do with this. We'll soon find out. But let's get into the track list while we're there. Yeah. 10 songs. Yeah, as you can see there, we've got a couple of covers with like Up, Up and Away by Jim Webb. Oh, there you go. I'll be honest, I didn't realise Jim Webb wrote that one. You did all right, Mr. Webb. We have... let's stop and listen. I wonder if I know that. Anyway. Jobin and Lees. That'd be Antonio. Is it? With Corcovado, Quiet Nights of Quiet Stars. Couple of OGs by Mr. Upchurch as well, so that's good to see a bit of a mix, not just all covers. Yeah. Now, I did spy out of the corner of my eye a bigger personnel listing here. I'm seeing Ed Pizzant. I wonder if it's one of the Pizzant brothers. You would think so. Because it's saying, what's that reads? Yeah. Now, also Charles Rainey being Chuck Rainey on electric bass. Very cool. And our usual suspect, Mr. Bernard Purdy. Pretty Purdy on drums. So that's a nice bit of rhythm section again there. And some of it there. And then, yeah, we've got the quintet with Wynton Kelly on piano. Richard Davis on bass. Jimmy Cobb on drums. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. But no, I'm not seeing Charles Stepney. I'm seeing Charles Stewart on something on photos. Maybe it's no Stepney on this one yet. Maybe it came after when he's working with Rotary Connection. Some cool little pics. Just trying to see if there's anything there within a year. No, only the fact is recorded. Yeah, there, September 12 and 13. Wow, they smashed in 2 days. Old school. So it's possible, yeah, it was released at the end of that, near the end of that year, 67. Yeah. But apart from that, I can't see anything else marking this as a reissue, although I just got a feeling it is. Anywho, there are no price indications there, so I'll just go to my list. So the price, 1600 yen, so $14.08 Australian plus post, $17.54 for a bit of old school Phil Upchurch goodness. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I have not streamed this one. Got enough reputation, track record, you know what I mean, the year, late 60s stuff. So yeah, be interested to see what he was up to in those years. All right. Next up, well, this one I did pay a bit more for. It's one of the more expensive ones, but well worth it, and a really good price for this particular LP. It is a reissue, but even the reissues cost a fair whack. And when I saw it, I snapped it. Went, yeah, no, that's absolutely worth it. It has been on my list of pretty high priority, this one. By great artists, and this is at an interesting, I don't want to say transition time, but yeah, a lot of times the transition, I wasn't there. But anyway, it's one of those LPs that have been reissued even more recently. I think this reissue, though, comes from the 90s, perhaps, I think. But this should be really interesting stuff. This is Donald Byrd with a Fancy Free. And I believe this is like 1969. I'm going to punt there. It is on Blue Note, interestingly enough. But yeah, it's I've got a good feeling at this one. It's going to be cracker here. Look, you can see the original price there, but I would have got it at the 3200 discount, which is even better. Now you'll see the excellent cover and excellent minus on the vinyl, but still, that's a very, very good ratings. Yeah, like near mint minus, I should say. Yeah, and I know it's a reissue, but still, hey, it looks pretty nice there. Now, let's have a look here. I think this is the only thing that I believe these are going to be like the original, liner notes and credits and stuff. It's just the style, the font is just not quite right for Blue Note. And if it's 69, I just got a feeling that they've just messed with the font and that. This is no big drama, but hey, I just think they just didn't need to mess with it. They could have done the whole, mimic the original stuff. But anyway, let's have a look in here, because you can see there's a fair crack of personnel to chew through here. Got Frank Foster there on tenor sax, and Julia Priester makes an appearance here on trombone here. We've got Duke Pearson doing some electric piano, which is great. So we're talking about, not long after Herbie with Miles, just introducing, getting the electric piano in into some stuff, and possibly even Chick Corea. So I think it was starting to, the burgeoning time of getting the electric piano into jazz as a substitute for the acoustic thing. We got Jimmy Ponder on guitar, Joe Chambers on drums. So there's a fair few known people here. A couple I'm not so sure, but hey, we got Mr. At the time, Leo Morris, Idris Muhammad. In the late 60s, 4 songs, stretched out affairs, as you can see there. Very super cool. I'm just going to pick this up and dare to go down here. And yeah, you can see that this is a early 90s reissue. So yeah, it's been around a while, this one. 30-something years. 1993. But as I said, I'm pretty sure the original's like, there you go, 69. It was recorded just in two sessions. So no doubt, I've got a feeling it was released before the end of that year. Now we looked at the price there, but not the all over price, which I shall now have a look for. It's right there. So yeah, so got it for the 3200 yen. So there, so which nicely came to $28.17 Australian. It's under the 30, but then with the post, just over it with the $31.63. So for this LP in that great condition, even for a reissue, is, yeah, I feel very, very fortunate, very lucky to get that for that price and in my collection. Next up, this one's going to be interesting. I've seen this for a few years. I've never listened to it. When I've seen it, it's just been a little bit too expensive for my liking until just recently when I saw this. And then I learnt some more stuff about it when it was at time of purchase, which was cool and made me even more happy to pull the trigger on this one. This guy is not, wouldn't say really is well, not that I've known of before as a singer, a musician or musical artist. People who know him would know him more for being an actor. But it all makes sense when you see this. Yeah, I couldn't pass this up. This is Richard Roundtree with the man from Shaft, or Shaft, however you want to say it. Yeah, who literally was the man from Shaft. He played Shaft. So, yeah, like, interesting. It's called The Man from Shaft. And you can see him there. He's on the vocals. I don't know what he's like as a singer. I purposely didn't listen to this. I thought, I'll just get it one day. And I got it for a really handsome price, if you look there. So I would have got it for the 1500, which is very nice. And you can see there, very good plus for both the cover and the media, the product, the vinyl. US original. It does have a cut corner, the Philistines, the Heathens. But you can also see, I don't know if you can see that, it's still in open shrinky dink as well. So that's obviously helped to keep the cover nice and schmickety schmick. Now, while we're on the price tag there, overall price, well, we're talking about $13.20 Australian plus the post, so $16.66 all up. Yay, hey. So, yeah, not even cracking the 20. Just over the 15-ish. It's on MGM Records, which is interesting because that's a film affiliated label, MGM. And turn around here. Got the nice shadowy, moody back cover here. But then we'll get into some of the cool stuff that I learnt about this. So first, let's have a look at the track listing here. I'm not even sure. Gets hard sometimes. Well, that's what she said. Yeah, Peace in the Morning. I don't think any of these are songs from the movie or from Isaac Hayes affiliated. We have, though, The Man from Shaft as a song. So it's interesting. Tree of Life, Loving, Sagittarian Lady, The Letter. I don't know if it means, like the song, my baby wrote me a letter, la la la, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, because I can't see that. Now, some cool things about this LP. Well, firstly, if we go down here, I did learn that it's produced by Eugene McDaniels. And got voices arranged by him, so that's really cool. Because this would have been just after, I reckon, when he did Outlaw and then Headless Heroes of the Apocalypse. Started doing some producing of other people. So that's cool. And they would have been doing Universal Jones, and he would have been doing Universal Jones with, I believe, with Leon Pendarvis, who's also all over this with music arranging. So that's some kind of cool kudos right there. And if we come over here, musicians, yeah, so there's Leon there. But we'll see acoustic guitar, we've got Eugene McDaniels. And look who's on bass. Carol Kay. Wow, hey, that's really cool. and Leon Pendarvis again. We've got Richard Davis doing some bass and acoustic as well. So, yeah, this is really cool stuff here. A couple of other names seem pretty familiar. Garnet Brown with trombone, Sonny Fortune there on tenor, and Pepper Adams on here. But then look at that, look. Bass clarinet, Joe Farrell, flute and piccolo, Cubit Law. So, yay for here. This is really cool. Background singers, well, there we go. We've got Les McCann as well on there. Super cool. Obviously, yeah, Eugene and Leo. And then Deborah Laws. Hubert Laws' a sister, from my knowledge, yeah. So, look, this is quite an interesting ensemble of people, you know, on this humble Richard Roundtree Shaft cash. I don't know if you'd say it's a cashing, but he's not doing Shaft songs, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, and I just spy down here, I think it's 72. There you go, 72. So we're hot on the heels of Shaft, obviously. I'd say the first movie, I don't even think the second one would have even been out or in production yet at this time, maybe not. Was it Shaft's Big School next, and then Shaft in Africa, or vice versa? Anyway, yeah. So, how super cool is that? Hopefully. Alright, next up, another LP that's been on my hit list for a while, and again, yeah, usually costs a bit, sometimes a bit too much, but I found a really reasonably priced copy, really good copy. This ties into one of the LPs I've just recently shown anyway, so we'll talk about that. I believe this is, I think, from 1970, so just on the turn of the decade. From the Groovin' 60s, and we're here also with some important people on here, and this also boosts up my collection from this band. I think I've got one more to really get, and that is Rotor Connection with Dinner Music and the great massive Mousetrap photo. Ready to snap up, Ms. Minnie Riperton. And also we've got who we were just talking about before there, with Mr. Phil Upchurch as well. So yeah, now I'm pretty sure this one's a Charles Stepney affair, as I was mentioned before. It is on Cadet, I believe. I think the other ones were too. We'll go back to price later. That's pretty hippy trippy there. Now there's a stack of songs on here. So that's very super cool. They call them entrees, side one entrees. But I'll be honest, I don't know if I've streamed this, or if I did, it would have been a long time ago. But again, getting it based on reputation, all that stuff, personnel, blah blah blah. So yeah, and you can see here. So we've been recorded very late, 69. So it's technically still 69, 60 stuff, but I believe would be released obviously not in time for Christmas. And would be released 70 faux show. Yeah, bit of a spiel there and stuff. That does look like a really weirdly placed punch-out hole. To the point that I don't know. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Because where would that be placed on the out? Okay, kooky. His face says it all. Yeah. Now, yeah, did it have a... Sorry, I'm just going to go back here to see if Mr. Charles Stepney is on this. You would think so. Oh, yeah, there he is. There's Mr. Charles Stepney. Absolutely. With creating that Baroque soul feel that they did so very well. Yeah. Now, pricing it up and having a look at the stats here, we've got very good plus plus, very good plus plus, although maybe they didn't see that. It's quite almost subtle, I'd say, in a way, but hey. Yeah, you can see there, 2400 would have been the discounted pricing there in yen. Which again, for this is very cool. And as I said, this one also, I believe, feels might be that looks like, yeah. Is that in, it's in open shrink as well, I think. Yeah, you can see a bit of puckering there, I think, yeah. Shimmering puckering. So yeah, that's really cool. It is saying it's a USOG. And so the price warns, I will find out. So 21.13 Australian plus post, $24.59. Didn't even hit the 25 buckaroonies. And yeah, it looks really solid, clean. That shrinky will be coming off and it'll look even better. Yeah, for a rotary with a dinner music. Next up, the fun keeps coming. This one, yeah, this is a kooky album. This one, absolutely kooky. I had listened to this a while ago and put it on my list. Yeah, it's a strange album, but that makes it very engaging in a way. But the artist has got pedigree as such. Yeah, this is a reissue version of it because this is actually, I think, goes for a lot. This LP, the real one, even though it's quite odd, and I think the vocals on here just weird from memory. Yeah. What can I say? But I got a decent price again, and in a really great condition for this reissue. I couldn't find much out about the reissue version stuff, so I'm just hoping it's not a total bootleg or anything. But anyway, and that is Isaac by Isaac Redholt Unlimited, sometimes just known as Redholt Unlimited, which sounds very close to the other version of the prior one. I'm trying to think. It always throws me because the name is so close. But where he was, he played for Ramsey Lewis Trio in the 60s. But this is his own band. Young Holt. Sorry, there it is. Old man brain. Young Holt. LD Young, who also played in the Ramsey Lewis Trio, and then Young and Holt joined up to do what was known as the Young Holt Trio, and then I believe they changed the name to Young Holt Unlimited. And then you can see this is like another sort of vamp on that. So obviously LD Young is not working with Isaac Holt at this stage, and he got his own band and thing together. So this LP originally, I believe, was like 74, 75, I think it was around there. And it was on this label called Paula, which, yeah, I don't really know much about. We see here though, I got this reissue in excellent condition, still in some openly shrinky. So almost brand new in a way, for only 1,800. And I know the original is more. It's one of these kooky oddities, and it might have been sampled or something, I think. You can see that same rare groove, A1, DJ Food Freedom, a fellow Brazilian. So maybe that's where it's been sampled and used. So you can see a really reasonable price for a reissue, and this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea by any means. Yeah, I just found it pretty fascinating. So I'll be really happy to hear this again. Yeah, so basically that came down to $15.85 Australian plus post, so $19.31. So yeah, I didn't even crack a 20 again for this lovely reissue of this oddity. Way better than paying big price for an old copy. Yeah, there you go. There, 1974. I was on the right track. Pull the records there. Here's the rest of his band. And I will say of like unknowns. He was the man who had the pedigree, I suppose, and the a little bit of the reputation, I suppose, coming across from obviously, firstly, with Ramsey Dawson, then obviously with the Young Holt incarnations. Actually, they were doing quite well. Let's have a look here. We've got some sort of stickery thing there. Oh, look, it was from Vox Music originally. This is also another Japanese store, I believe. And we've got 4 tracks there. And there's another 4 there. Slow funk. So 8 tracks. Cookie montage there. That's quite cool. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, look, it is funky, groovy sort of stuff, but I'm pretty sure there's some bizarro mondo vocal stylings on here. Yeah, but I like to have some obscure funky stuff. And I like it when it's a reasonable price too. Yeah. Isaac. Guess which one Isaac is. Sorry. Alright. Anyway, next up, we are kicking left of center definitely for here, but for me, this band is a mainstay for me. This comes from the late 80s. I think it's 89, so very odd for me to buy something around that era. But yeah, it'll make sense. Yeah, I've been eyeing this record for a few years and then learning more about it. Over the years. But look, this is going to be surefire awesomeness. I know I know a lot of the songs, and I've even seen some of them being played live by an incarnation of this band. Yeah, and I know it's different, but I love them. I love it. This stuff, it's bad manners. It's Return of the Ugly. With Bust the Blood Vessel still kicking it like he still is now. Now, the interesting thing about this album in one way, I do have they did kind of 2 versions of this. So I've got another version of it that I believe they recorded in France. They originally released maybe a year or maybe 2 earlier. So I don't know why. It has some slightly different tracks, but some are doubled up. However, my understanding is they were re-recorded, the songs, for this one. So this one came after the other one, followed the other one. And for some reason, yeah, they re-recorded some of the tracks. There's a couple other tracks on here too that were not on the first one, Eat to the Beat. And I really liked that album too, Eat to Beat. So I was a little bit, in 2 minds because I was thinking, well, I'm getting some of the same songs again, and I do have the other one on CD and on of vinyl. But hey, it's bad manners. It was a really great price. You can see here, 1700. And this is for a UK original, which is really nice too, being that they're an English band. And you can see the excellent minus for the cover, very good plus for the media. And you can see that too. It looks really schmickety schmick, eh? That looks really nice. Yeah, especially for something that's, it's not that new, 1989. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's on Blue Beat Records, which I think might be their own, Buster's own label, possibly, pretty much. But yeah, let's have a look at the list. I do kind of like this cowboy style, Western artwork styling. We've got Scarville UK, which is really cool, but that was not on the previous incarnation. Sally Brown wasn't. That's such a great song. Since You've Gone Away was Rosemary, I believe was. Bonanza Scar, yeah. Return of the Ugly, yeah. But then we've got Hey Little Girl. I don't think it was on the other one. Buffalo Scar wasn't. Memory Train was not. And neither was This Is Scar. So interesting that, and I'm wondering if that line is telling us side 1 and side 2. I'm not sure. But, all side, most of side 1 except for Scarville UK. Was on the other one, and then only Return of the Ugly there. So yeah, there's still lots of different songs as well. About halfy in a way. I do think I have a version of This Is Scar. I do know Scarville UK, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very cool, Scar. Obviously, if you haven't picked that up by now with Scarville UK, This Is Scar, because it's telling you, and Buffalo Scar, and Bonanza Scar. So, yeah. Now, it does say, 1989, that's established. Let's go for the all-up pricing. Yes, so all up, so it's $14.97 plus the post, $18.43. So again, for lovely, this one's a original, by the way, in great condition here. Didn't even crack a 20 posted, so really happy to add that to my Bad Manners collection. By the way, I saw them 2 years ago. They were still real cool, even though most of the music, I don't think they're OGs, but new band kicked it. Buster kicked it. Such an enjoyable time to see them. Yeah. Anyway, next up, another super duper cool record to get here. We are hitting post 75 here, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect on this record, but such an underrated artist, I believe. I think he's starting to come into a bit of fashion now and recognition, because his LPs are not inexpensive usually. I was lucky enough to get this one at this price, and this is me paying a bit more for this one. Now, this though has some awesome players on, which will make sense. I'm a big fan of his other work, his earlier stuff. This is though one of the later ones, because I think it's like 1978. So yeah, we are post 75 enough. It's be interesting to see what he's doing at the time. So I don't think I streamed this. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But that is Eddie Henderson with a Mahal, M-A-H. I think it's A-L under there. You can't tell from the title that it says there in Japanese. But yeah. Now, Cool 70s cover there. Looks like a almost airbrushed affair in the background. Nice painting sort of thing. We do have a Obi, so you can tell it's Japanese press. It looks in schmicky schmick condition here, as we can see here. Yeah, excellent. And then they're saying excellent plus for me here. Say what? Excellent plus. I mean, I've not. Yeah, is that like absolutely minty? I don't get that. But anyway, now you'll notice up here though, it's got a double billing there, which is misleading technically. Yes, Herbie Hancock is on this, which gives it even more kudos. But it's not a Herbie Hancock album. I think they're just using that to do a bit of selling. I'm pretty sure he's not billed on here at all. If I just look at the spine there, and you can see just Eddie Henderson. So, but I was in the know, I knew. However, this is one of those cases where, again, the supporting players, is super cool. It's almost like you've got the Headhunters band on here. You got most of them on here, so it's kind of like taking the Headhunters band, most of them, and mix it with the Herbie's prior Wandishi band, because there's people from there, which Eddie Henderson was part of. Great player. I mean, what Eddie Henderson was doing at the time, I think, is what Miles would have sounded like in the early 70s had he not lost his shit. It's like Eddie filled that void, I think, and then obviously with playing with Herbie, will definitely. So you'll notice here, okay, it's hard to see the track list. You got 3 on that side there. There's some hidden on here, my bad. I can't see. I'm not going to open and move it. But let's have a look at these players. So there's Hancock, there's Benny Maupin, there's Paul Jackson, and there's Bill Summers. Now I know I'm skipping some, but they're the Headhunters. Yeah, we're just missing the drummer from Headhunters. Take your pick. Harvey Mason and Paul Clark, is it? Then yeah, so we go from there, and then we see we've got I'm pretty sure Maupin was in Wandishi band as well, was he? And so we've got Julian Priester. Pretty sure was in that group as well. Then, okay, if that's not enough, we've got Hubert Laws kicking in some flute thing. So yeah, he's on neither of them, but still he's top notch, top shelf. Yeah, we've got Howard King, Mtume, and Ray Obito, who I believe is the guitarist, was coming into recognition at the time. Yeah, so hey, what a host of players, eh? For sure. Yep. It's interesting. We've got some advertising on the back of the Obi. I think I saw Harvey Mason. Yeah. Yeah. Who played with Hancock. So and la 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 1978. What are we talking here? Yeah, I paid some more for this thing, but I know it wasn't a bad price considering what I've seen it for more than this. Price altogether was $30.81 plus the poster going to $34.27 posted. So yeah, I know for this stuff that's some good value, and especially that quality, and especially if they're saying excellent plus. Wow. Let's hope that is actually reflective of the quality. Hopefully it stays true. So yeah, Eddie Henderson, nice stuff. Okay, kicking along. This is an album that it's sort of been in my list for a while. Not incredibly high, but again, just to be in the collection and plug up a little bit of a gap between two of the albums I already have by this sometimes obscure in a way, I suppose, band. Um, this one comes from, I think, 1976, maybe. Something like that. Might have been even recorded 75. Um, yeah, it does have a link to Kool and the Gang, as such, and there is some production by some of the members of Kool and the Gang, I believe, on this one. So that's not a bad thing, and that is the KGs with Find a Friend, and I believe this is their second LP. After Master Plan, whatever it is, but yeah, Bumpin', whatever it's called. I think it's got like two names, doesn't it? That's got some really cool, funky tracks, and again, um, assisted by some Kool and the Gang input and production, and even instrumentation, I believe, because this is actually the band of one of the, I think this is younger brother. Is it Kevin Bell? Kevin Bell, maybe, of Ronald Bell and I just forgot the other. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the link there, and it's even on Gang Records. So how's that for a reference and a half in your face? So on USA, pressing via Japan here. Find a Friend. I just remember at the time when I listened to this like years ago, I wasn't that enamored by this one, especially after the Master Plan LP. Um, yeah, but I'm willing to give it another go. There might be something I've missed. I just might be because of the comparison um, to the first LP. It's not giving us a lot here though to go on, is it? I'm going to assume there's going to be some inserts inside. Let's have a look. Or maybe even, is that a, I don't think it's a gatefold. I can't remember if it is. Ah, it might be a Unipack gatefold. We'll find out. Well, here you go. I was correct. So let's have a look. That's what was hard to see if it was a gatefold, because this next part's quite thin, because it's a one of those cool Unipack gatefolds. Well, I think they're cool. Some people probably think they're inconvenient because your record is in this part, hiding in there. But I kind of like this. And yeah, so this is where we're getting the pics of the band. And yeah, this is where at the same time the Bell brothers in Kool and Gang were also had changed the name to, I think, like a Muslim influence name there, and we can see Bayan. That would be I think it's Kevin Bell, Amir Salan. Other names, Kevin Lasseter is the one that sounds familiar to me, maybe because of the first LP, perhaps. And we have lots of background singing vocal groups here. Well, this one here consists of the ladies, and I have seen this Something Sweet before called, particularly the name Cynthia Huggins for some reason stands out to me. And then we've got this one down here, which is a male vocalist band here, Tomorrow's Edition. So that's really interesting. If we come over here, we do have the listings of the actual band here, and yeah, you can see there Kevin Bell, Amir Salam, Bayan, Yeah, so Bell Brother there. And song-wise, well, we've got 7 on one side. And what you'll notice there is, yeah, Ronald Bell. And Oath and Nash, I think, was in the later version of Cool and the Gang when they're expanding a bit more by the mid-70s. Yeah, so it's Ronald Bell again. Ronald Bell again. His name's all over this, Ronald Bell. Yeah, he's all over this, like every bloody song on that side. Wow. On this side as well. Waiting at the bus stop. Yeah, Ronald Bell. Riders Ronald Bell. Ronald Bell. Wow. Okay, that's full on Ronald Bell. He's written on every frickin' song. Damn. So there you go. Learn something every day. And then over here, we've got thanks to, and again, we've got thanks to Larry Gittins, who was the trumpet player for Cool and the Gang. And look, we've got Ronald Bell, tenor sax. And Oath and Nash, yep, trombone. It's just Artie Moore I'm not sure about it. I'm surprised it's not Robert Bell, cool, from Cool and the Gang. Yeah. Who's the namesake of Cool and the Gang. But yeah, so Ronald Bell, all over it. So that's some really cool stuff there. All right, and yeah, here we go. Gang record 76. Bam, there it is. All right. Now, this one didn't come with the little taggy thing for pricing, for a bit of kgs. So let's see. I'm the man with the master plan. I'm going to find a price as opposed to find a friend. Yeah, so it was 1,800 yen. So that came down to 1585 Australian plus post 1931. So again, didn't crack the 20, which I've seen this go way more for, just based on their reputation. But yeah, I hope I'm pleasantly surprised, because as I said, I think at first I was a bit disappointed maybe, or let down the first time I heard this and streamed or somewhere, but that was a long time ago. I might have been judging too harshly, or maybe had a slightly closed mind, I don't know.